The Prudential College Football Report is sponsored by The Prudential. Your Prudential representative goes above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, your rock in financial services.
Back here in New York with the coach at halftime, and Clemson leading Florida State 14-7. Era, what were your thoughts in the first half?
Well, Danny Ford's team used textbook football. I mean, basic. He was trained by Bear Bryant, of course. But when it came to the first touchdown, he borrowed from Bobby Bowden's finesse offense, double option pass. So it was an interesting first score for him, but it's just as close as we expected.
Right out of the Bowden playbook.
That's right.
Okay, let's check the top 10. Number 1, Miami has moved in front of Michigan in the first quarter. Steve Walsh to Cleveland Gary, 49-yard touchdown pass there for the Hurricanes. Oklahoma over Arizona. That's at halftime. Barry Switzer going for his 150th win today. Your thoughts on this game, Coach?
Well, that surprises me. When I looked at the statistics, I didn't think that Arizona could give this Oklahoma team much of a game, but they have, both statistically, and they're hanging in there in the score. Surprise.
Jamel Holloway has a 5-yard touchdown run for the Sooners. Next week, Oklahoma, by the way, will be at USC. 5th-ranked Trojans idle today. Notre Dame over Michigan State. Irish are now 2-0 on the season. Mark Green, 125 yards rushing. Magic in attendance, but no magic on the field for the Spartans. That Irish defense looked good today, Aaron.
Well, 2 weeks in a row now. Mike Stonebreaker right here will pick off a McAllister pass and go 39 yards. This is the same guy that made 19 tackles last week against Michigan. Here he is scoring a touchdown. And in addition to that, the Irish blocked a punt that led to another score, so the defense is back.
Last week you said this defense was improved going into the season. They're showing it.
They're more than that. They're going to be contenders in this season for the national championship because they have an outstanding defense.
And Reggie Ho added 2 field goals for Notre Dame in that victory. And LSU wins for the first time ever at Tennessee. They had not won in 10 previous trips there. You know, they have one of the most underrated players in the country, I believe, Tommy Hodson. He threw for 3 scores today. He completed his first 12 passes of the game, and LSU wins it 34-9. We'll be hearing from Tommy Hodson here at halftime. Now, some of the ranked teams in action tonight. Number 2, UCLA against Long Beach State. Kansas will be at Auburn, and Georgia at Mississippi State. 12th ranked West Virginia had a scare early, trailing 14-0 against the Terrapins. Then they just really poured it on. What about this Mountaineer team?
Well, this is the first time that they've been tested, and they really rose to the occasion, scoring 55 points, and they're definitely a team to be contended with during the rest of the year, although they still have next week Pitt, for example, Penn State, and they have some other tough ball games yet.
So the run back there, one of the scores, the 55-point total, the most points allowed by a Terrapin team since 1971. South Carolina, talk about a big play today. Todd Ellis, 96-yard touchdown pass to Robert Brooks. You know, the Gamecocks open up the year now 3-0. They've conquered North Carolina, Western Carolina, and now East Carolina with the shutout today. Back-to-back shutouts for that team. Penn State over Boston College. We showed you the game-winning field goal there in the closing minute. It was set up by this block punt. Eddie Johnson on the block there, and again, Ray Tarasi with a 38-yard field goal with 55 seconds left to won it for the Nittany Lions, the 10 millionth fan ever to attend a game at Beaver Stadium, looking on in an exciting contest today. Army playing at Washington. That game has just started. And Colorado and Iowa, the Buffaloes have just moved in front. Chuck Hartlieb fumbled. Eric Hanna kicked a 28-yard field goal, and Colorado leads the Hawkeyes playing in Iowa. Still ahead, more gridiron results as the Prudential College Football Report continues here on CBS with scores from around the country.
If you can dream it, you can do it. Today, the Prudential can show you a new world of financial opportunities. Look to the Rock for mutual funds, stocks, and bonds. Feel its strength in CDs, insurance, and mortgages. With the right choices, the right guidance, the sky's the limit. The Prudential, your rock in financial services.
We go above and beyond just like you, above and beyond what we have to do.
I'm a Prudential representative, and I help people review their life insurance needs because I know how much the right life insurance means to me and my family.
You take pride in your life, so do we. Going above and beyond is our policy. The Rock, the Prudential, above and
Jim Nance and Ara Parsegan on the College Football Report. Opening day for the Ivy League schools. Defending Ivy champion Harvard going against Columbia. And yes, the losing streak continues for the Lions. It is now 42 and counting. When's it going to end, Coach?
Oh, you got to feel sorry for those guys. But you got to remember, they had a 6-0 freshman team last year. Somewhere along the line, they're going to win a ball game. Not next week, I don't think. I thought they might beat Lafayette, but Lafayette's beaten up on Holy Cross. So it may have to wait another game or two.
At some point this season, huh?
Right.
All right. Yale and Brown played to a 24-all tie, a series that began in 1880. This just in, Vanderbilt beat Rutgers. Rutgers, of course, sprung the surprise last week on Michigan State. A 59-yard field goal, and the final play was no good by the Scarlet Knights. And Vanderbilt wins on the road for the first time as Watson Brown head coach at Vanderbilt. Temple and Navy. Talk about low scoring. This has just started the fourth quarter. Temple leading it over the Navy there, 12-0, and Bill Cosby's looking on with great interest here, Coach.
The naval commandant made a deal with Bill Cosby. It doesn't look real good now. He said that if the Navy won, Bill would wear a jersey on his show for the whole show. But if Temple won the ball game, they would make Bill Cosby a chief petty officer. Shoot, that merits admiral status. I mean, Bill, let me be your negotiator.
It sounds like the Cos can't lose in that deal. Elsewhere, Indiana State and Florida. The Gators are playing a 1AA opponent for the second time in 3 games. They've kicked an early field goal. That game just started. Georgia Tech and Virginia had a big game, a wild game, and Virginia's Mark Inderlead, a 35-yard field goal with 14 seconds left. Coach Bobby Ross at Georgia Tech is now 0-10 versus major college schools in his 2 years at Georgia Tech. Kentucky and Indiana. Tragic story yesterday. The Kentucky team bus was hit by a passenger car. 2 people were killed. No Wildcat players were injured. But today, it's Indiana leading this game, the first home sellout for the Hoosiers since 1969. You know, this is an Indiana team last year, Eric, that got within 1 game of the Rose Bowl. What about Bill Mallory's bunch this year?
Well, they're a great football team. Bill Mallory is an outstanding coach. After all, he was Parsegian trained. But the point I'm going to make, this Indiana team a year ago beat both Ohio State and Michigan, and they're going to be contenders again this year.
It's a sleeper team in the Big Ten. Purdue, it's beef day at Ross-Ade Stadium, and more important, Fred Akers going for his 100th win. Looks like he might get it against Ohio. Utah and Illinois have just started their game. High-powered Houston, look at this, 24-0 over Missouri. 3 touchdown passes there for the Houston quarterbacks. They alternate quarterbacks. Baylor shut out Iowa State on the road. UTEP has scored 3 consecutive touchdowns now to move in front of BYU. Cougars had led 17-3 early in this contest, but now back come the Miners and Bob Stoll's bunch, a hungry bunch once again. This is John Harvey. He had 5 touchdowns last week, Era, against Weber State. He scores there, and now UTEP's in front playing in Provo. Northwestern and Air Force, and Air Force leading in the 3rd quarter. Wyoming, here's a team that doesn't get a lot of credit, but the Cowboys have won 11 straight regular season games. They're going to make it 12 today against Louisiana Tech. On the coast, Stanford over San Diego State in the 1st quarter. And in baseball, the Yankees now fall 5.5 back of the Red Sox in the American League East. The game was all tied, 1-1. Bottom of the 8th, Charles Hudson gave up the home run into the screen over the Green Monster. Dwight Evans, and Boston adds another run. And that score, 3-1, Boston over the Yankees. And again, the lead is 5.5 in the American League East for the Red Sox. When we come back, we'll talk with Tommy Hodson of the victorious LSU Tigers. You're watching the Prudential College Football Report on CBS, where the scores continue from around the country.
For a century, the Prudential has been helping American families make their dreams come true. With rock-solid protection and guidance toward a brighter financial future. Today, we can help make another great American dream come true. Finding a place to call home. The Prudential Real Estate Affiliates, one of the companies of the Prudential.
Soar beyond your expectations. Today, the Prudential can show you a new world of financial opportunities. Look to the Rock for stocks and bonds, mutual funds. Feel its strength in CDs, insurance, and mortgages. With the right choices, the right guidance, you can move mountains. The Prudential, your rock in financial services.
As we mentioned earlier, one of the more impressive team performances today, LSU winning for the first time ever at Tennessee, 34-9. And the Tigers quarterback Tommy Hansen with one of the best individual performances today. 3 touchdown passes for that outstanding quarterback, Tommy Hansen, who now joins us. Tommy, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, you guys start off the season with just an incredible schedule. You've already knocked off Texas A&M, now Tennessee. It just continues with Ohio State and Auburn, Florida coming up. How do you guys handle this?
It's going to get tougher every week. I think the old cliche, just take them one at a time, and that's what we're planning on doing this year. And we keep improving as a football team. I think we'll be okay.
Tom Araparsigian here. Mike Archer, your coach, coached at Miami, and they've done quite well. I trust he brought in that passing game, and I just wondered how difficult it was for you to learn and execute.
Well, it took me a couple of years to learn it. I redshirted my first year and was really just thrown out into the starting job my second year and really learned it out on the field. And once you get it down, though, it's really not that complicated.
Tommy, you mentioned you redshirted 1 year. You're a junior in your 4th year. There have been some reports that you may go pro after your junior season, a la Bernie Kosar. Well, what do you stand right now? Where do you stand on that?
Well, I have quite a few hours to graduate, and really not thinking about it right now. Like you said, we have a tough schedule and a lot of good teams to play, and really just concentrating on the season.
A lot of talk about Troy Aikman and Bobby Humphrey maybe being the top Heisman candidates. What about Tommy Hansen's chances?
Well, I tell you, it's really been a relief. Once the season started, the Heisman hype has kind of died down, and we're really just worrying about playing right now. And I don't know about the Heisman, and hopefully I can just play well for the rest of the year, and we can win a lot of ball games.
Tommy, thank you for joining us, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
That was our talk with Tommy Hansen, the brilliant quarterback just moments ago. A couple of score updates. Mario Hampton, a 9-yard touchdown run for Arizona. They move within 4 of the Sooners. Washington's put a touchdown on the board against Army. And Iowa's just entered the 4th quarter. A touchdown pass by Chuck Hartlieb to Tom Ward, covering 19 yards. Hawkeyes now in front. Coming up next, the second half. Florida State trailing Clemson 14-7. We'll send you back to Brent and Pat in a moment. I'm Jim Nance along with Araparsigian in New York. Thanks for watching the Prudential College Football Report.
Football Report has been sponsored by the Prudential. Your Prudential representative goes above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, your rock in financial services.
The Atlantic Coast Conference. 8 institutions, proud of their academic and athletic excellence. A conference comprised of 6 state-supported public institutions and 2 private institutions. Member schools of the ACC have won 5 of the last 9 College Football Association Academic Achievement Awards. ACC teams have appeared in 8 major bowl games over the last 3 years, compiling an impressive 5-3 record. Committed to excellence in academics and athletics, the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Jim Brown of Notre Dame.
For everyone, there is a beginning. For Heisman Trophy winners Davy O'Brien and Tim Brown, it all started here. Woodrow Wilson High School in Dallas, a birthplace for dreams, a foundation for learning. Support high school football and discover a Heisman hero of your own. This message is brought to you by the National Federation of State High School Associations.
Career record that still stands.
Here in South Carolina, Clemson leading Florida State 14-7, the result of a beautiful 99-yard drive led by quarterback Rodney Williams. And Pat Hayden, I think you can identify with the pressures that go on when you're a quarterback, the criticism you receive. What's happening in college football with quarterbacks today?
Well, I think one of the disappointing things is college quarterbacks are getting more and more public criticism. A few years ago, that didn't happen. It's getting like the pro scene now. Now, Rodney Williams has received a lot of criticism in his career, but I really admire the guy for having the mental toughness to stick in there. He's not going to throw 5 touchdowns a game, but he knows how to get his team into the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned mental toughness, Pat, and in talking to Rodney, he admitted that he wasn't always the best quarterback, but he hung in despite the criticism.
In the game, I let get a little carried away, whether it was getting too fired up in certain situations or letting the crowd get to me, where now I try to stay on an even keel, and I think I do a good job of that, and I think I keep the offense at at an even keel, and that, that's my job, and I try to go out and do it every week.
He sure did keep him on an even keel on this drive. He faced 3 third downs, 1 fourth down, and he capped it off with that 7-yard touchdown run. 14-7 Clemson will continue live right after this message and a word from your local station.
Flies overnight letters for just $8.75. Watch the birdie. Express mail overnight service from your post office. Who drops by to pick up your overnight packages every day? You know us well. Express mail overnight service. When we say overnight, we mean overnight.
Do you know what it's like to walk out onto the fresh-cut grass at Yankee Stadium the morning before the game? Now you do. Adidas Aftershave and Cologne. The essence of sports.
Checkout time, Garfield.
Check out.
Embassy Suites Hotel was a great idea, huh? We got a 2-room suite with a wet bar and a refrigerator.
So what's the big rush?
And all for about the same price as a room at most Marriotts or Hyatts. There's even a free cook-to-order breakfast every morning.
Delicious.
What a great place to do business.
That settles it. We're staying.
At Embassy Suites Hotels, you don't have to be a fat cat to enjoy the sweet life.
No, but it doesn't hurt.
This is CBS.
It's clearance time at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers, and they're pricing their stock so everything goes. Chrysler New Yorker Landau with factory-to-dealer discounts that could mean further discounts of up to $1,600 goes. Yes, New Yorker Landau, clearance priced and backed with Crystal Key Owner Care, goes. Yep, everything goes. Now at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. Get there.
The Carolina combination that's above the rest is your Carolina Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
Parts Plus, the automotive supply store with everything plus. Ignition coils, choke valves,
push rods, gas caps, oil tire repair kits, valve lifters, brake shoes, brake drums, air filters, oil filters, PVC valves, fuel filters, fan belts, air conditioning.
There are a lot of parts at Parts Plus, but the difference is in the people. People who know parts and how to special order those hard-to-get parts overnight. Today, Parts Plus wants you to know that car engines are running hotter, putting more wear on your belts. If your car is 4 years old, replace your belts with Gates belts. For everything under the hood and more, shop the store with the Plus. Parts Plus.
Drum up a deal. It's closeout time in Carolina on Oldsmobile. There's nothing finer. Drum up a deal on Color Supreme. $1,000 cash back on the car of your dreams.
$1,000 cash back.
Use your cash back as you please for your down payment. Now it's freeze.
That's $1,000 for your down payment.
With Color Supreme, we're right on track. Closeout priced, $1,000 cash back.
Drum up a deal on Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme.
Carolina savings like never before from the people who give you a whole lot more.
Your Carolina Olds dealers, drum up a deal.